Hello, and welcome everyone to episode 8 of the Quiet Palace podcast, where great legends prevail and evil wanes to dust. Hopefully. I am Fet, a storyteller, an arcana indulger, and your benevolent yet elusive host. Today we continue on our way through a world of immersive and impressive, or I suppose wicked, dungeons. When last we pondered this concept together, we established some essential details that would find context in and out of the confines of the mysterious yet deadly Distuka Hold, an arena with holding cells that have seen powerful evils trapped within, only to die or partake in ruthless bloodshed. Now that we have the necessary components that shall tie everything together, we shall sail outwards from these important details and into the lands that surround Distuka Hold. Metaphorically speaking, of course, unless our setting should allow for a waterlogged dungeon. That's also up to you when you're in the process of creating said dungeon. Whatever feels right can be blended in somehow. Past the overgrown forest that hides this ancient yet atrocious monument. The land that surrounds us could be a reality of various origins. A wide variety of opportunities lie before us. Whether we would choose to melt this into the Forgotten Realms, or realms similar perhaps, we must realize and establish connections between Distuka Hold's primary influences and its exotic manifestations elsewhere throughout the world of our choosing. Today we shall speak of melding the story behind our dungeon to the world we choose to explore it in. The Witch, the Lich, the King, the Ring, the Treant, and the Parasitic Blights. Almost rhymes. These individuals are what we have determined to be powerful influences or drives for certain courses of action. It can fit into any homebrew adventure we conjure. That being said, it goes without saying that one could be inspired to take things out or insert things into a well-known setting, like the Forgotten Realms. This dungeon could be an unpredictable mirage, where many openings may lead to this place, perhaps magically isolated. Perhaps it's something you wish to use in replacement of something that was not particularly a focus before. Perhaps it's something you wish to use in replacement of something that was not particularly a focus before. A small place that your party takes great interest in that could maybe lead to more if the will to pursue it is apparent. For what answers a module might not give you, we could consider this smaller brainchild as a replacement or alternative storyline that could keep your party busy for a while until you have the next part of the story at large ready to play. Nobody said the small cave with an empty chest had to be just that. Sometimes there's treasure behind the totally normal waterfall. Such is the way of things. There are mysteries in all the light touches and abandons. As some wise folk would say, mystery is a difficult but worthy pursuit. Sometimes a small set of ruins or a forest nearby with nothing in it could maybe find more sadistic powers at play. And all of a sudden, in Eberron or Barovia or the Nine Hells, Distuka Hold can be seen looming over barren or obstructive land before our courageous party. Some changes may need to come. An old ruler of a certain layer of hell that has abandoned a powerful artifact. The Lion's Ring in question, perhaps found in the material plane after it was stolen by a different faction, having been delivered to the material plane from its origins in Baator. Perhaps a powerful dragon, such as Clog-Iliamatar, once possessed this ring, and it was stolen one night by one of her servants who had a connection on the outside. These are but a couple of examples as to how we can tie things into the Forgotten Realms to some believable degree. Of course, should you involve this concept or one akin to the process into your homebrew world, think of powerful evils, or other valiant heroes that could perhaps be involved with the origin of your dungeon. If a ring like that persisted in the reality I originate from, I would guess it could have been made by Mythos, a child of the gods who is a secretive but highly accomplished artificer. The enchantments he bestows on items are quite masterful, their power fit for a god's next of kin, as there are others who represent this title here. It could have been stolen by my rival Viester, one who claims to act on behalf of the Netherrealm's kings, perhaps similar to Bautor within the Forgotten Realms setting. He would most likely have used it himself, until a mortal claimed it, perhaps after it was lost, or even after a prior defeat that Viester could have suffered. In time, through trade, discovery, thievery, and inheritance, it would find its way into the hands of King Tretica of the Onyx Kingdom. These could be perhaps adapted to a dead kingdom from your own setting. Where there were prior kingdoms, there persists the secrets of that past. If a long-dead ruler from a long-dead leadership of some empire or kingdom or whatever is more suitable, a dungeon that reflects on that time period to some degree would be a great way to tell a story you haven't had the opportunity to tell yet. Wherever you may go in one world or the other, I find that each and every landmark bears a story of some kind. Elements to encourage storytelling help unfold the lore of your world before your characters quite naturally. There should be a solid limit. Not every distinct brick in the wall has a life story. Not to say that we should be too brief with the incredible details that come to us as we invest time and effort into realizing an awesome world to Dungeons & Dragons in. A small bit describing things piece by piece, and perhaps the odd monologue that goes for about 30 seconds to a minute depending on the subject's dire nature or its complexity. Not that your world is not cool as heck. But it is a game at the end of the day, and a game should be the focus, setting the scene, laying before them the situation based on the various perspectives that have enlightened them. These are crucial, but I try to direct these moments to speak towards the task at hand before the minute mark, just to keep things reasonably paced. Again, all due respect to your world and your story at large. I once regaled a mortal of Gaia for at least 3 hours about the contents of my world. Wait, sorry, my friend. The mortal that assists me in these matters insists you call your planet Earth. Some history books based on Greek culture told me otherwise, as did the humans who dwelt here centuries ago. Perhaps Earth does make sense, but doesn't Gaia sound so much more poetic? I suppose that is not my call to make, however. So be it. So, from the time it took me to speak of the mortal and to end the topic by disassociating myself with the politics involved in your world's proper name, would be a good bout of information about certain aspects of the dungeon. There may be more to say of those who dwell within, but we could go about 2 times the duration if there's a lot that inspires you. These are powerful individuals. They have a longer description, and for good reason. Of course, if your party wants all the juicy lore and all its juicy lengthiness, then by all means, leave no detail uncovered where it mustn't be. In the last episode, we discussed how we can connect the outside world to our dungeon. The party won't know to go there unless they stumble upon it, and so a lost ring, a wicked evil, or a historical site as it stands are powerful elements to base a quest on that leads the party to this place. They may find the ring and a note pertaining to mysterious properties said to be found within. Or perhaps they uncover the legend of the sadistic fallen king and his ring of authority, and wish to use it for good among other courses of action, such as destroying it. Since they need to know the triggering phrase to activate it, that is hidden knowledge, so they will have to journey to the dungeon to uncover the tablet said to bear this phrase. Should they wish to destroy the ring, we could say that breaking the tablet itself, hidden within the dungeon, would destroy the magic properties within the ring. That way, if a party decides destruction is necessary, they won't be journeying to the nearest lava pit to toss it in hopes that simple action is enough. That's the hope, anyway. Some estranged text found within the royal crypts or another similar site may point players in the right direction, triggering the start of the quest for power. Perhaps they hear of an evil that lies within the dungeon's depths, a powerful lich, a coven of hags, or an evil tree that is the scourge of the land. A citizen of a place that has been affected by their influence might try to hire you to march forth into the lair and kill them, or the local authorities may offer a bounty for the creature's head. A quest to kill these creatures, you must realize, is a passageway that can lead them towards completing other quests leading to this place, such as the aforementioned Lion's Ring quest. Should the party desire to explore this place out of pure curiosity, well, congratulations! You've made something your party finds particularly intriguing. Not to mention you most likely gave them an impactful description. Most importantly, we have mysteries for them to uncover, quests they can journey onwards in relevance to, and evils they can vanquish. Ultimately, that gives us a whole ton of ways to involve our cool little dungeon. However, I believe that I presented everything I was hoping to discuss in regards to merging this concept into our D&D 5e setting. More often than not, I place dungeons or particular encounters after the fact. The big picture is what I focus on the most when I create a world for my D&D players. These little details might come to you in time, and as long as you have all the important stuff, and enough little stuff to go off of until their location or orientation changes, it is a gift of many DMs to use improv where there's little to no description on a particular concept. You do not need to be an expert. If it's a character you're role-playing as, and don't know what to say to a certain question, try to think of that character's description and think about how they would react. If they use an item unconventionally, in a way that makes sense, try to allow what you feel is within a logical explanation, and if it could unravel things for you, search for a potential loophole that these actions could be utilizing, or perhaps not so much. I guess it all depends. If a magical item is animate, it does not need to be obligated to manifest its other properties through their conventional means. If a mystery must remain so, create mysterious, though reasonable, occurrences. If my party works very hard to uncover any detail they can, I give them any detail I can within reason. I don't want to give everything away too early, but in this game I like to think that there could be a reward for ambitious endeavors. Perhaps that and the rest I could ramble about could be discussed in a future episode. Hit the like button on this video if that's the case. I'll look into it regardless, but I want to see where the minds of the viewers are at. I don't expect it, obviously, but that decision is in your hands. Thank you, everyone, for listening to Episode 8 of the Quiet Palace Podcast's first season. I appreciate you all, and I hope your existence continues to be bright and welcoming. We'll talk again next week when we conclude this 3-part series, finally stepping foot into the blasted grounds of Destuka Hold.